Hey y'all, hope you're having a good Thursday. The boys are gone to Joseph's for lunch. It's quiet, and I was like, maybe I won't get interrupted today. But they've had a good week. They did this morning. I think the pictures I got were self-defense with Brian Gooch. And I'm so very thankful for Brian coming over and sharing his expertise and his knowledge with them. And he will also be with us in Girls Camp, and I am so thankful for that. Have you ever had one of those days where absolutely nothing went planned according to your plan? You get up in the morning, you got your plan, you got your checklist, you're going to do this, and this, and nothing goes according to that plan. It reminds me of the book Alexander's Horrible, Terrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. We've all had those days. You know, you forget your coffee, you lose your car keys, you went into the room and forgot why you were there. I do that often. And then I have to stand there for a minute. Oh, yes, that's why I was here. But you're wondering if you just start that day all over again. I don't ever want to start a day all over again. Once we get in it, let's just get going and let's just get done. I mean, here we are already all the way halfway through the month of June, and it's amazing because I feel like we just started January yesterday. But the truth is, most of us spend a lot of time frustrated because life isn't following our plan. We all have a plan. We all have a plan. We have a plan. We may not write it down. It may be in our heart. It may be in our head. And I hope we don't share our plan a lot, because when we share it and we speak it, then the enemy can get in there and twist it and all of that. But in Proverbs 16:9, it says, we can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. So we can make a plan. We make this plan. Hey, I got this, and I'm going to do this and this. But the Lord determines our steps. And I have learned, when I am delayed, if I have a flat tire, if something goes wrong, or whatever it may be, if I am delayed, sometimes that's the Lord deterring me from what might happen if, But we make the plans, God directs the steps, and sometimes we think, I should be further along by now. But whose guideline are we going by? Whose guideline? We shouldn't go by the world's guideline ever, because if where we are is right where God wants us, we shouldn't be any further along, because we're right where He wants us. We are right where He says, okay, this is where I need you to be, because this is what's going to happen, and this is how I need you to handle it, and this is what the good is going to be out of this. And we need to make sure that everything that we do, He receives glory and honor in our actions, in our words, in our speech. Being rude and being disrespectful because you have some fantasy built up in your head about somebody being something that they're not, that's just not what God would have for us. I thought I'd have more money by now. How much is enough money? People are so consumed with money. Well, if I just throw money at it, then I don't have to volunteer. I don't have to do anything. I can just give them money. No, sometimes your presence is what is needed. And I thought life would be easier by now. Whew, a lot of us have thought that. We're in the, what do they call them, the golden years? I don't know why they call them golden years, because they're not very golden, but life would be easier. I've done all the hard things, Lord. I've done did, and we can list out all the hard things we've done. And He's like, but I still need you to trust me. I'm not done yet. I'm not finished. Your story's not over. I'm still writing it. Put the pen down and give it back to me and let me finish the story, because it's going to be beautiful and it's going to be amazing and it's going to be full of comebacks and triumphs and all of the things. The latter's going to be better than the former. We need to understand that He is going to take us where He needs us to be. We all have a GPS now. Everybody, you have it on the phone, you have it in your car. My GPS, sometimes I feel like he wants to scream at me. I have the Australian voice because I like it. It's a man. And I have it, and sometimes he's like, turn right, turn right, turn right. And I'm like, there's nowhere to turn right. Or I can't turn right there. I'm like, you're just speaking a little out of turn. But we get mad at the GPS and we're like, ah. I often, when I do that, I often think, Jesus, that's how you have to feel with us. I told you to turn right. Turn right, turn right, turn right, turn right. And we're like, oh, we went left. Or, oh, we're just going to go straight ahead. This morning, as I was letting Stella out, I walked around and I had planted 2 rose bushes. And bless their hearts, they are not doing well. I don't know what I've done. I don't know what has happened to them. But they are hanging on and they are still creating blooms. And I was like, as I stood there and I'm watching them and looking at them and I'm praising the Lord for them, because I'm like, Jesus, I just thank you for the blooms. I thank you for the flowers, because I have a lot of black-eyed Susans again, and I have some lilies, and I don't know what else is blooming in there. I got some Shasta daisies that I have absolutely no idea where they came from. I did not plant them. I don't know where they came from, but I have a lot of them. And there's different colors. There's the yellow and the black of the black-eyed Susans. There's the purple of the African something or other. I don't know what they are. I got them from Steph's garden. And then there's the white of the Shasta daisies, and then there's some other flowers blooming down there, and then I have lavender blooming. And so as I stood there and looked at those roses, and they're white, and they're tiny, they're little, because the plants are dying for whatever reason. I don't know what happened there. First couple of years they were absolutely beautiful there, and now they're just struggling. But I thought, as I'm looking at that, that's how God sees us. We have all of this stuff that is died off, and we need to let it die off, and we need to leave it on the ground, and we need to let it go, and we need to continue to allow Him to build the blooms in us. We need to bloom where we're planted. We need to bloom and let Him do His goodness in us. I have a friend, Cassidy Lyons. She started chemo this morning, and I had to go to Cushing this morning, and I just cried all the way over there. Lord, be with her, guide her, strengthen her, be with the doctors, and all of that. But it takes me back to the roses, because sometimes things have to die off. Sometimes we have to go through some hard times, and we're going to look beaten and worn like my rose bushes do. But we're still going to be blooming, and He's still going to create that in us. Sometimes God is saying pivot. I am bad about saying that. Tiffany teases me about it, because we'll be grocery shopping. I'm like, oh, need to pivot because we didn't get this, or we need to go get that, or whatever. Pivot. We went to Sam's last Friday to get all this stuff for boys camp, and she had a cart. I had a cart. She had a flatbed thing, and I had a cart, and hers was getting too heavy. And I said, you wait right here, and I'm going to go bring stuff to you, because I said, we're pivoting. We can't keep running into stuff in the store. But sometimes God is saying that. You didn't miss that turn. I ask you to do this. And sometimes we have to be recalculated by Him, rerouting. You know, when you miss your turn, your GPS says rerouting. But often we look for giant miracles instead of the miracle in every single day. The miracle of just being able to wake up. As I was coming home last night, I got to go see my boy. He's home for just a few days, but I got to go see him. And as I was coming back, the sun was setting, and it was just a beautiful. God can just paint the most amazing colors. And I thought. And I just started thanking Him, Lord, thank you for that. Thank you for letting me see your beauty. Thank you for my kids getting here safely. Mia drove up from Texas. She had been down seeing her dad and her mom, and he flew in from 29 Palms, and he was tired. They were tired, and it was just so good to see them. And sometimes God is working through those everyday moments of seeing that sunrise or that sunset. I don't see sunrises very often. I have this week. I've seen sunrise every day this week. But it's in those moments that He's saying, see, here I am. Look at me. Watch what I'm doing. Sometimes it's through a conversation we're having with someone and they say something that we absolutely needed to hear. They didn't know it, but they're being obedient to God and saying it to us anyways. Sometimes it's a delay. Maybe we needed to stay and have that extra cup of coffee at home before we headed out because for whatever reason. Maybe it's a closed door. We don't want to look at that because we want to keep banging on that closed door. Boy, we want to bang on it and bang on it and bang on it and bang on it. And he's saying, no, that door's closed. Or maybe it's an open door or a new opportunity. Or maybe it's just a random encounter. And I don't think there's ever random encounters. I think we are purposely meant to meet people throughout our day. For whatever reason, he has us to do that. But he has used ordinary people throughout the Bible. Ordinary people that have been through some hard things. Ordinary people like Mary, who I know when everyone found out she was pregnant and not married, I know she had a hard time. But he used her to do extraordinary things. Moses was tending sheep when the Lord spoke to him. David was watching sheep. Peter was fishing. Ruth was gathering grain when the Lord spoke and did great things. Never underestimate what God can do on any ordinary Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday. We're looking for this giant, miraculous thing, and he's just using an ordinary day to change the trajectory of our life, to reroute us. The joy that we have is in trusting him. He is who we need him to be. Whether it's in the valley, it's on the mountaintop, whether it's on the slope on the way up or the way down. He is who we need him to be at that moment. He's our comforter. He's our counselor. He's our Abba Father. He is all of those things. At any given moment, he is there for us. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will have to worry about itself. Will worry about itself. That's Matthew 6:34. He wants us to live in today, be obedient in today, and hear his voice in today. And sometimes that's hard because our todays get busy, they get crowded, they get noisy, they get overwhelming. And even in that moment, he can, if we'll listen to that still small voice, he can say, hey, I'm here. It's okay. We're going to get through this. We're going to make it. You don't need to stress. We're going to be okay. Trust me. And it's hard for us because we want that. We want the answers. You know, I've always said, Lord, I know you have a plan for me, but could you come sit beside my bed today, or sit on this side of my bed with me every morning and say, hey, this is what we're going to do today, and then tomorrow this is what we're going to do, and then the next day. He doesn't do that. We are to trust him with each and every thing, because even though things aren't where we thought they would be, we can still trust him. But even in the hard, even in the things, you can look every single day and find something to thank God for. Whether it's a butterfly, whether it's a beautiful bird. As I was going out to Kate's Tuesday evening, I was going out to Kate's, and there were some of those very colorful buntings, the birds. Like, they're brilliantly colored. They're bright red, bright orange, bright yellow, deep, deep blue. And there was just a whole lot of them. And I was like, oh, Lord, thank you for letting me see that, because those are amazing colors that you don't get to see in everyday birds. And the birds that I get around here are crows. I don't like crows. I'm learning to like crows, but I don't like crows. And gratitude changes our attitude, where we can have that joy. Sometimes we have to change our attitude to find the joy. And if you're watching this today and your life isn't going as planned, or isn't going according to plan, your job is shutting down, your marriage is falling apart, your kids are being wayward, whatever it may be. God isn't surprised. He isn't worried. And He isn't finished. Your story is still being written. Allow Him to continue to write your story. The detour is not the destination, and the delay is not the denial. Sometimes we're not ready for what He has for us, and so He has to delay us. And just think, what is the one thing that God has gotten you through that you thought you would never be able to make it through? What is that one thing? You can share in the chat, whatever. I'd like to know, what is that one thing that God has gotten you through that you never thought you would make it through? Mine was my dad passing away. I never thought I was going to make it through that. I did not. I had to be strong for my mom. I had to immediately start taking care of my mom, but I didn't think I was going to make it through that. And there are still days I don't feel like I making it through it very well. And he's been gone for 13 years. But there are days that I just feel like I'm still waiting for him to walk through that door so I can say, Daddy, you will not believe what is going on. But that's when I say, Abba, Father, you will not believe what is going on. And He's not surprised. And He already knows. But He wants me to trust Him enough to tell Him. Just like what I told my earthly father. I need to trust my Heavenly Father even more. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. It's been cloudy and cool today. Really cool. I had to let Stella out earlier, and I was like, goodness sakes, it's cooler than I expected it to be. So tomorrow I think we go back into the 80s again, but I hope you guys have a great evening. I should be back on here tomorrow, but I'm not going to make any promises. So I hope you guys have a great day. See you tomorrow.